few films after Music and Darkness were considered vital for Ingmar Bergman and for foreign cinema worldwide, especially because foreign cinema, when it comes to Hollywood and its American reception, was taking a bit of a nosedive. So these films include Prison, Thirst, To Joy, This Can't Happen Here, and we'll round off a summer interlude. But first off, we start off with Port of Call, probably the most literary film we have reached when it comes to Ingmar Bergman's earliest works. The story is actually based on mental health issues, and for such an early film, takes the topic very seriously. The film starts off with an attempted suicide by the lead female character. The rest of the film is spent on figuring out why she was in such a mindset to attempt suicide. And again, for such an early film, you actually feel that her mindset and her toxic environment were poisonous enough to drive her to such an unthinkable action. Usually these kinds of films, especially in such an early age of cinema, perhaps had half-hearted attempts to try and make a reason for why these characters would feel this way. But to be fair, Port of Call treats its subject matter so seriously that you honestly can feel every single piece of tension and the build-up that would, again, drive somebody to do such an act, especially when you know nothing about them within the very first scene of the film. As you can see with these shots here, yes, Bergman is still trying to hone in his artistic skills, but while he doesn't go as above and beyond as perhaps the dream sequence in Music and Darkness, he is learning how to make basic cinema with a great vision. And once again, we're starting to see where all of his artistic integrity may have come from. Look at this long scene, for instance, this one single take, which again is a little groundbreaking for when the film came out. Not that this is the first long take that you would see in a film, but clearly Ingmar Bergman always had ambitions, even in the lowest critical point of his career. He honestly always tried, so you can see why when he would complain about the world not receiving what he was making later on, where he was coming from, and you can see the honest efforts in his earliest works. And again, the authenticity with trying to tell a proper story about mental health and alcoholism and familial struggles. Here we have a story where a daughter is not taken seriously by her mother, and she grew up with an abusive father. With proper flashback scenes and the odd reference to her youth, we can pinpoint that there are a lot of character swaps when it comes to traits, or the negative influence that other characters will have on perhaps morally righteous characters. So there's so much complexity here that was void in the previous Bergman films that we've seen. Again, it's not nearly as flashy as Music and Darkness, but the textual literacy here is so much stronger that in ways I almost prefer this film to the previous film, despite the fact that, again, there is no scene that can wow you away with its directorial vision. At least here we have a concrete, start to finish tale where everything makes sense, everything lines up, and there's poignancy. I also love the fact that the plot here, while there is limited use of sets, limited use of characters, doesn't run around in circles. You always feel like you're getting somewhere. Now, this Criterion transfer, which is yet again from the Svenska Filminstitutet, this time from 2016, 35mm duplicate negative mono transfer. I don't think we're going to be seeing anything different for the next little while. Is stunning, so I don't have to go too deeply into it because I think Criterion once again did a great job. As for a couple of cons in the film, yeah, the ending's a little bit Hollywoody. It doesn't feel too tacked on, but it is a little safe considering how dark a lot of the subject matter prior to the ending was, but it doesn't feel honed in at least. But aside from that, perhaps there is a little bit of stalling near the beginning of the film and towards the third act out of 4, but aside from that, it's time to rate the film. Like Music and Darkness, I'm going to give this one a 7. It's solid. No masterpiece, but at least we're getting, again, solid filmmaking here, where everything lines up. Things can be improved, but we are definitely getting to territory where Bergman's more comfortable with being a filmmaker, and He is seeing how dependent the world of foreign cinema is when it comes to his works, and we're starting to see the origins of his earliest masterpieces, which we will be reaching soon. For now, this is a Film Doctor. The Film Doctor is out.